Welcome to North Africa 95 million years ago. This region, now a barren desert, was once the most dangerous ecosystem to ever exist on our planet. It was a land of giants, where evolution pushed the boundaries of size and lethality to their absolute limits. In this world, survival was not a right, but a fleeting privilege earned through strength and specialization. To understand this place, we must look past the fossils and into the brutal reality of a landscape where the river was both a sanctuary and a slaughterhouse. Before we dive deeper into this lost world of titans, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We explore the most extreme corners of natural history and the secrets of the creatures that once ruled them. Join our community as we peel back the layers of time to reveal the harshest truths of the animal kingdom. "95 million years ago, the Saharan landscape was unrecognizable. Instead of shifting dunes, there were sprawling floodplains, mangrove forests, and river systems wider than anything we see today. This was a water-rich paradise that supported an incredible density of life, but that abundance came with a terrifying price. In most ecosystems, there is one apex predator that sits comfortably at the top of the food chain. Here in the River of Giants, there were at least three, each competing for dominance in a crowded, violent theater of war. At the center of this aquatic nightmare was Spinosaurus. For a long time, we thought of dinosaurs as strictly land-dwelling monsters, but Spinosaurus broke all the rules. It was a giant reaching lengths of up to 50 feet, making it longer than even the most famous Tyrannosaurus rex. With a massive sail on its back and a body built for the water, it was a specialized biological machine. Its bones were dense, acting like a diver's weight belt to help it submerge and stay stable in the current. The Spinosaurus did not move like other dinosaurs. Its tail was broad and powerful, functioning like a massive paddle to propel it through the murky depths. Its nostrils were positioned high on its snout, allowing it to breathe while the rest of its body remained hidden beneath the surface. It was a master of the river, hunting fish the size of cars with lightning-fast strikes. Yet it was never truly safe, for the water held other monsters that were just as patient and just as hungry. While Spinosaurus ruled the open water, the edges of the river belonged to Sarcosuchus. Often called the Super-Croc, this prehistoric relative of modern crocodiles grew to the size of a city bus. It weighed as much as 8 tons and possessed a bite force that could crush bone like dry glass. Unlike the Spinosaurus, which actively swam and hunted, Sarcosuchus was an ambush specialist. It would wait for hours, perfectly still, disguised as a fallen log until the moment of the kill. When an animal came to the river to drink, Sarcosuchus did not hesitate. It would launch its massive body forward with a burst of power from its tail, dragging its prey into the deep. This was the terrifying reality of the Cretaceous waterhole. For a herbivore, the thirst was a death sentence. Every sip of water was a gamble, a desperate choice between dying of dehydration or being torn apart by a predator they never saw coming. On the dry land away from the river's edge, a different kind of terror reigned. Carcharodontosaurus was the rival to the Spinosaurus, a massive carnivore with teeth like serrated steak knives. While it was similar in size to the Tyrannosaurus, its hunting style was completely different. It did not use brute force to crush the neck of its prey. Instead, it used its speed and precision to deliver devastating, slicing wounds that caused massive blood loss. Carcharodontosaurus was a specialist of the floodplains. It would stalk the herds of long-necked giants, waiting for a moment of weakness or a lapse in defense. Once it struck, the battle was usually over quickly. It would retreat and wait for the animal to collapse, a cold and calculated method of hunting that required patience and strategy. In this world, being the biggest wasn't enough. You had to be the most efficient killer to stay at the top. The prey in this ecosystem were no less impressive than the predators. Nigersaurus was one of the strangest herbivores to ever walk the earth. It had a wide, shovel-shaped mouth filled with hundreds of tiny, constantly replacing teeth. It grazed on the low-lying vegetation like a prehistoric lawnmower, moving in large herds for protection. Its survival depended on numbers, as its small size made it an easy target for almost any carnivore in the region. Then there was Ouranosaurus, a sturdy herbivore with a sail on its back similar to that of the Spinosaurus. This sail may have helped with temperature regulation or acted as a signal to others of its kind. It was a massive animal, yet it lived in a constant state of high alert. In North Africa, even the giants had to be fast. The environment demanded a level of resilience that few modern animals could imagine, as the pressure from predators was unrelenting. Evolution in this part of the world was an arms race that never stopped. Millions of years before these creatures arrived, the land was dominated by even larger titans like Giraffatitan. These were towering sauropods that seemed untouchable due to their sheer scale. But as the climate and the landscape shifted, the strategy of being a massive generalist began to fail. The world moved towards specialization, where every creature had to find a specific niche to survive the competition. This specialization is what allowed so many massive predators to live in the same area. The Carcharodontosaurus took the land, the Spinosaurus took the water, and the Sarcosuchus took the shoreline. They divided the world into zones of death, ensuring that no matter where an animal went, there was something waiting to eat it. This balance was delicate, dictated by the flow of the rivers and the availability of prey. It was a masterclass in ecological engineering, written in blood and bone. The harshness of this world was not just in the teeth and claws, but in the environment itself. The seasonal changes could turn a lush paradise into a series of drying pools, forcing the giants to congregate in smaller and smaller spaces. This intensified the competition, leading to brutal confrontations between species that would normally avoid each other. It was during these times of drought that the true nature of the River of Giants was revealed, as the struggle for survival reached a fever pitch. In these desperate times, even the smallest creatures had to be extraordinary. Tiny mammals and smaller reptiles lived in the shadows of the giants, scurrying through the undergrowth to avoid being stepped on or snapped up as a snack. Their survival strategy was invisibility. While the titans fought for dominance, the small and the swift survived by being beneath the notice of the kings. It is a reminder that in nature, there are many ways to win the game of life. The Spinosaurus, despite its power, faced a constant challenge from the very element it called home. Living in a river meant dealing with changing currents, competitors like the giant sawfish, and the ever-present threat of Sarcosuchus. Its life was a balancing act between the land and the water. It had to be agile enough to catch fish, but strong enough to defend its kills from land-based scavengers that would venture to the water's edge. This duality is what makes the Spinosaurus so fascinating to us today. It represents a bridge between two worlds, a creature that refused to be confined by the traditional limits of its kind. It adapted its very skeleton to conquer a new frontier. This level of specialization shows the incredible power of the natural world to fill every available space with life, no matter how dangerous that space might be. When we look at the fossils from this era, we see more than just bones. We see the story of a world where the rules were simple: adapt or perish. The Carcharodontosaurus didn't need the crushing bite of a T-Rex because its slicing teeth were perfectly suited for the soft-bodied prey of North Africa. The Nigersaurus didn't need to reach the treetops because the ground was covered in a carpet of ferns. Every feature, every behavior was a direct response to the demands of the environment. The logic of the Cretaceous North Africa was cold and calculated. It was an ecosystem built on the edge of a knife, where the abundance of resources created a theater for the most extreme predators in history. It teaches us that nature does not strive for peace, but for a balance of power. Every predator was a check on the population of another, and every herbivore was a test of a predator's skill. It was a perfect, violent machine that ran for millions of years. As we reflect on this lost world, we can draw a lesson for our own lives. These giants remind us that the environment we live in shapes who we become. To survive in a harsh world, one must find their unique strength and hone it to perfection. Whether it is the speed of the hunter or the resilience of the prey, specialization is the key to enduring when the world around you is in constant flux. The story of the River of Giants is a testament to the sheer will of life to persist. Even in the deadliest place on Earth, life didn't just exist, it flourished. It grew larger, faster, and more complex, pushing the limits of what was biologically possible. It was a world of high stakes and no second chances, a place where the water meant life, but the closer you got to it, the closer you were to the end. If you enjoyed this journey into the deadliest place on Earth, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with someone who loves natural history. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. We have many more stories to tell, from the depths of the oceans to the furthest reaches of the prehistoric past. Thank you for watching.
Definitely Carcharodontosaurus. Look at the teeth.
I've never seen one this complete before.
This changes everything we thought we knew.